Clutches, a great thing of mystery. I guess most people's knowledge on those is that they need to be adjusted and they also burn out. Well, I've got one down there in a box I could do a demonstration on, but I'll end up getting oily. So we'll just simplify it. Basically, what a clutch is a way of disconnecting the engine from the gearbox. So if you imagine that is your engine and that is your gearbox, basically your engine, all the time it's running, is spinning, and your gearbox is not spinning until it's locked to the engine. Now, what you do with that lever over there is you pull the clutch away from the engine, basically, so that one can still turn because it's the engine, and the gearbox stops turning. Okay, so it's squeezed together with a bunch of springs, and what you do is you compress the springs to move it away from the engine. Now over time, as these wear, they start to slip, and if they slip too bad, they'll burn out. Now, slipping can occur if your adjustment is wrong on the clutch. So, having said all that lot with a pair of old grinding discs, we're now going to see what clutch adjustment is. Now, clutch adjustment, it can be a big old adjuster here which does big gobs of adjustment at a time, and that'll either be up here on the handlebars for the CRF, or it could be down there on the gearbox for other bikes, like that one, and the Honda. But anyway, what you need is look at the end of your cable and look at your knurled nut here. When you move the cable in and out, you need to see a certain amount of free play there. See that? As long as you've got that there, you're not burning your clutch out. Now, as the clutch gets hot, as the bike gets hot, this will decrease. So you want to check it when it's cold, but you also want to check it when it's warm, just to make sure you haven't got enough, or you have got enough. Okay, so what that translates to down there, we can't see. So let's go around this side. Yeah, my back is still knackered. Right, so when you pull your clutch in, this lever goes that way and disconnects the clutch. So if this cable is tight and the lever is being held that way, it's making your clutch slip. Right, I think we've all grasped it. So, like I said, back to the adjustment. Your clutch bite is where the clutch actually starts to drive the bike forward as you're letting the lever out. Now, if you've got no clutch bite, like Dan had the other day because they replaced his clutch, you need to make an adjustment. So, if your clutch has got the right free play, but when you pull it all the way in, the bike is still trying to move forwards, or you're having trouble trying to engage neutral, you need to get more throw on your lever. Now, if your lever is adjustable, like this, you can get more throw on it by adjusting that bolt out there, or turning the little levers like we've got in a drawer right here, I do believe. Great, they're not there when you want them. Are they in the next drawer? No, and take the long walk then. So we'll take the long walk over here, and there's your lever there, look, which you can adjust your throw with by moving that lever around. So, many times we're turned with breakfast and a big cake. There's always a big cake. So yeah, getting your throw where you want it, just that lever. And I'm actually, as your clutch wears, that is going to change, so you will have to make some adjustments to it over the life of your clutch. And I've noticed I'm running out of bite on mine. Mine, when it's right back at the bars here, is still almost out. So what I'm going to have to do is just wind that lever out a little bit more, so that when I pull it right in, it will make the clutch totally disengage. So that's your clutch. Oh, and the other thing with clutches is they are cork cork rings rubbing against the steel plate. So what they do is they slowly wear away, and that stuff that wears away goes into your engine oil, and that goes around your engine, which is why you should stay on top of regular oil changes if you're doing a lot of mountain work and using the clutch. Okay, what else can we play with? Silencers, people. Silencers, and I use the word silencer in inverted brackets because, as we well know, 999% of all the fake ones sold in Thailand do absolutely no silencing at all. And if you are a rider in MHS and the Pai area, then you know full well that the police actively shoot around on PCXs looking for noisy silencers in order to hand you out £1,000 baht fines, which obviously they use for their tea ceremonies. Now, I don't like giving away free money. I like to collect it. So I've had a little bit of a malfunction here on my welding, as I can see. But we're going to need a torch for this, and he's looking around for the torch. There it is. Your silencer is most likely one of these over here on the shelf. Your silencer is most likely an FMF copy, which is basically, I don't know if you as the camera can see through, but you know what we're looking at. We're looking at straight through. There is nothing in there. It's absolutely hollow. And the problem is all your primary waves, which are the ones that go blah, pass straight through the can, making that bloody horrible noise that pisses everyone off. So, if you want a quiet can, or a quieter can, you're going to have to modify what you've got. Now, I'm not going to take, I'll tell you what I will do. I'll take this off my head, because then I know it's pointing in the right direction. So, maybe you can see up inside there, possibly, can you? Can you see in there? Well, what we've got in there, he says, I'll just put this thing back on my head now. What we've got in there on the base tube that goes inside, we've got a blank, and then I've drilled some holes around it. So your primary waves come hammering into the tube, they hit a dead end here, and then they're forced to come back out through the sides. Now you could regulate this actually by putting these holes further up here and leaving that space filled in there, because then your primary waves are going to bounce against there, and they're going to have to come back here to find their way through. They'll then bounce off the sides of the sound deadening, and they'll still come spilling out the back full pelt, and they'll still be loud. So that is a start, but it's not enough for the sound testers in Pai. And to be honest with you, it pisses me off as well, because I'm at a certain age now where I don't want to ride around all day long with blah in my ears. So I've made a further one to go in the back here. Right? Another one just there, look. And my bike's running really rich. It shouldn't do, because I've taken the fuel controller off of it. It should be running lean as hell. But yeah, there you go. So, I've got a DB killer front and rear, and my pipe is fairly quiet. It certainly is very quiet compared to other people's pipes. So if you don't want any 1,000 baht fines when you're up in the mountains, you might want to consider getting someone to knock you up a couple of DB killers. Moving on.